Hey siblings in Mashiach, this is your Gap Tooth Sis, and if it's your first time here, hey hi, my name is Ryan. Here we just chop it up, we chill, and we have a little look into my diary. So, if you think you're gonna catch a vibe, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I feel like I don't hear enough people on my TL talk about the demon of self-doubt. Now, sometimes I feel like we really trivialize it. We make an insidious thing something very mundane. Not gonna lie, it's something we have all gone through, you know. Rather than just rejecting the prevailing thought of pessimism, we allow it to continuously suck us dry of all of our optimism as well as drive. Like the ancestral little leech it is and always has been. Now, why do I count it as ancestral? That's a great question. Oh my God. That's a great question. Literally. Well, the Ruach, or as others may deem it, the spirit of self-doubt, is actually a familiar spirit. It moves from one generation to another and manifests itself in different ways. That's how, like, I've kind of seen it. But you know what? Have no fear because Yahuwah's here. So there is a few times where we will see in the word where the Ruach of self-doubt sneaks its, you know, little head through. And the main one I wanted to explore briefly through this discussion was with Moshe. Okay, cool. Okay, right. So imagine this, yeah? You're standing in front of a burning bush. Mind you, the burning bush is not consumed because the Most High Yahuwah has done told you wagwan for his plan. Okay, when it pertains to the children of Yisrael and getting them out of subjugation because they've been up in bondage and, you know, you're gonna fix it. He's gonna fix it, right? And then you go fix up your voice to go and say, but behold, they will not believe me nor hearken unto my voice, for they will say Yahuwah has not appeared unto you. Exodus 4:1. And then Yah says, like, he literally says, what's in your hand? And then you say, oh, it's a rod. Okay. Because what are we doing here? What are we actually doing here? Let's eat. You know when they say, like, the word is like the bread of life? This is what they're talking about. This right here is what they're talking about. We're gonna yam some word today. It's so good. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Sometimes I actually annoy myself. Anyways, I feel like you have to understand why I'm like so excited for this one, because like Yahuwah ate and he left no crumbs. I'm sorry, Yahuwah ate and he left no crumbs. Don't play about me on my Abba. Don't play about me on my Abba. Because when it seems as though there is nothing and you have no hope, Yahuwah reminds you of the power that you wield within your own hand. Now, not a lot of people actually know about the history of that particular rod. And to gain a bit more understanding or clarity, we are going to go into one of my favorite books, the book of Jasher. Okay, but before we do that, I actually want to give a bit of context before like we do the actual readings. I think it might make some, it'll make sense, right? So, okay, cool. All right, boom. So Moshe, basically, he leaves Mitzrayim for a hot minute. He's been gone now, yeah? And he's now found himself in Jethro's yard. Jethro is also known as Ruel, same person, different name, same person, doesn't matter. So Moshe left Mitzrayim and then he finds himself at Jethro's place. Mind you, Jethro has been imprisoning him, Moshe, for 10 years. Crazy. And then crazy, you missed that. You missed that in Exodus, but it's there in Yashar. And then like Moshe sees the rod that Jethro stole from like Pharaoh's courts when he was an advisor for him. Again, context information, that's in Yashar 67:41. But obviously I really do encourage you, please read the whole chapter. It's tea. Oh, it's tea. Moshe is in a dungeon. Yes, there was a dungeon. Yashar 77:26. Again, I beg, read the whole chapter. Just read the whole chapter, Yashar 77. What I'm gonna do is I will read Yashar 77:38-51. And afterward, Moshe went into the garden of Ruel, which was behind the house, and there he prayed to Elohim, who had done mighty wonders for him. And it was that whilst he prayed, he looked opposite to him, and behold, a sapphire stick was placed in the ground, which was planted in the midst of the garden. And he approached the stick, and he looked, and behold, the name of Yahuwah Sabaoth was engraved thereupon, written and developed upon the stick. And he read it, and he stretched forth his hand, and he plucked it like a forest tree from the thicket, and the stick was in his hand. And this is the stick with which all the works of our Elohim were performed, after he had created the Shemayim and the Eretz, and all the hosts of them, seas, rivers, and all their fishes. And when Elohim had driven Adam from the Garden of Eden, he took the stick in his hand and went and tilled the ground from which he was taken. And the stick came down to Noah and was given to Shem and his descendants until it came into the hand of Abraham the Hebrew. And when Abraham had given all he had to his son Isaac, he also gave him this stick. And when Jacob had fled to Paddan Aram, he took it in his hand, and when he returned to his father, he had not left it behind him. Also, when he went down to Mizraim, he took it into his hand and gave it to Joseph, one portion above his brethren, for Jacob had taken it by force from his brother Esau. And after the death of Joseph, the nobles of Mizraim came unto the house of Joseph, and the stick came into the hand of Reuel the Midianite. And when he went out of Mizraim, he took it in his hand and planted it in his garden. All the mighty men of the Kenites tried to pluck it when they endeavored to get Zipporah his daughter, but were unsuccessful. So that stick remained planted in the garden of Reuel until he came who had the right to it and took it. And when Reuel saw the stick in the hand of Moshe, he wondered at it, and he gave him his daughter Zipporah for a wife. I know. It is giving Excalibur for a quick second, isn't it? But let's not focus on that part. But did you actually see the journey that rod went through just for it to find itself within the hands of Moshe? And even with it in the hand of Moshe, he still doubted. And even then, again, the rock of self-doubt reared its little ugly head. Oh, and just a caveat, actually. This is, okay, some people say, oh, like, you know, he was just shy or whatever. But no, like, no. Okay, some people don't know this, right? This is what I'm saying. You need to read Yasha, because Yasha's tea. Kill. But I would say, if like any apocryphal book in general, you really do have to cross-reference. If it is like going against what the first 5 books are really saying, then put a little question mark there, because there are some things in certain books I'm like, I don't know if I'm really like agreeing with what you're saying. But I do think they're quite good to just have additionals to. I don't take them as the whole thing. I'm just gonna say it gives it like a bit more context, a bit more meat, a bit more je ne sais quoi. Like what I was trying to say actually, sorry, is that not a lot of people actually know that Moshe had a speech impediment. Yeah, he had a speech impediment. That's why he was kind of shy. That's why he had Aharon speak for him. And I feel like you want me to tell you where it is. I feel like you want me to tell you where it is in the Bible. It's in Yasha 70, and we're gonna read it. Yeah, we're gonna read it, because apparently today is a day that I'm gonna just be doing a lot of reading. That's what I'm gonna be doing today. And in the 3rd year from the birth of Moshe, Pharaoh was sitting at a banquet when, okay, allow it, wait a second, sorry. Al-Paranith. And in the 3rd year from the birth of Moshe, Pharaoh was sitting at a banquet when Al-Paranith the queen was sitting at his right, and Bathia at his left. And the lad Moshe was lying upon her bosom, and Balaam the son of Beor with his 2 sons and all the princes of the kingdom was sitting at the table of the king's presence. And the lad stretched forth his hand upon the king's head and took the crown from the king's head and placed it on his own head. And when the king and the princes saw the work which the boy had done, the king and the princes were terrified, and one man to his another expressed astonishment. And the king said unto the princes who were before him at the table, What speak you, and what say you, O ye princes, in this matter? And what is to be the judgment against the boy on account of this act? And Balaam, the son of Beor the magician, answered before the king and princes. And he said, Remember now, O my Adonai, the dream which thou didst dream many days since, and that which thy servant interpreted unto thee. Now therefore, this is the child from the Hebrew children, in whom is the spirit of Elohim, and let not my Adonai, the king, imagine that this youngster did this thing without knowledge, for he is a Hebrew boy, and wisdom and understanding are with him, although he is yet a child, and with wisdom has he done this, and chosen unto himself the kingdom of Egypt. For this is the manner of all the Hebrews, to deceive kings and their nobles, to do all these things cunningly, in order to make the kings of the earth and their men tremble. Surely thou knowest that Abraham their father acted thus, who deceived the army of Nimrod, king of Babel, and Abimelech, king of Ge'er, and that he possessed himself the land of the children of Seth, and all the kingdoms of Canaan, and that he descended into Mitzrayim and said of Sarah his wife, she is my sister, in order to mislead Mitzrayim and her king. His son Isaac also did so when he went to Ge'er and dwelt there, and his strength prevailed over the army of Abimelech, king of the Philistines. He also thought of making the kingdom of the Philistines stumble in saying that Rebekah, his wife, was his sister. Jacob also dwelt treacherously with his brother and took from his hand his birthright and blessing. He went then to Padam Aram, to the house of Laban, his mother's brother, and cunningly obtained from him his daughter, his cattle, and all belonging to him, and fled away and returned to the land of Canaan of his father. His sons also sold their brother Joseph, who went down into Mitzrayim and became a slave, and was placed in the prison house for 12 years, until the former Pharaoh dreamed a dream and withdrew him from the prison house, and magnified him above all the princes of Mitzrayim on account of his interpreting his dreams for him. And when Yahuwah caused a famine throughout the land, he sent for and brought his father and all his brothers and the whole of his father's household, and supported them without price or reward, and brought the Mitzrayim for slaves. Now therefore, my Adni, king, behold, this child has risen up in their stead in Mitzrayim to do according to their deeds, and to trifle with every king, prince, and judge. If it please the king, let us now spill his blood upon the ground, lest he grow up and take away the government from thy hand, and the hope of Mitzrayim perish after he shall have reigned. And Bilam said to the king, let us moreover call for all the judges of Mitzrayim and the wise men thereof, and let us know if the judgment of death is due to this boy, as thou didst say, and then we will slay him. And Pharaoh sent and called for all the wise men of Mitzrayim, and they came before the king, and an angel of Yahuwah came amongst them, and he was like one of the wise men of Mitzrayim. And the king said unto the wise man, surely you have heard what this Hebrew boy who is in the house has done. And thus Bilam judged in this matter. Now judge you also to see what is due to the boy for the fact he is committed. And the angel, who seemed like one of the wise men of Pharaoh, answered and said as follows, before all the wise men of Mitzrayim, and before the king and the princes, if it please the king, let the king send for men who shall bring before him an onyx stone and a coal of fire, and place them before the child. And if the child shall stretch forth his hand and take the onyx stone, then shall we know that with wisdom has the youth done all that he has done, and we shall slay him. But if he stretch his hand forth upon the coal, then we shall know that it was not with knowledge that he did this thing, and he shall live. And the thing seemed good in the eyes of the king and princes, so the king did according to the word of the angel of Yahuwah. And the king ordered the onyx stone and coal to be brought and placed before Moshe. And they placed the boy before him, and the lad endeavoured to stretch forth his hand to the onyx stone. But the angel of Yahuwah took his hand and placed it on the coal, and the coal became extinguished in his hand. And he lifted it up and put it to his mouth, and burned a part of his lips and a part of his tongue, and he became heavy in mouth and tongue. I know it was quite long. I know it was quite long. Okay, I know. But I felt like it was really important that you kind of knew the context of it. Sue me, sorry. Okay, so let's just look at Moshe. Let's break it down a little bit. So from birth, he literally had a target on his back, one, which I would definitely assume could add a little bit of anxiety there, just small. He was different. I mean, all of his age mates were getting killed. He also had a speech impediment, which we literally just read in Yasha. And I'm pretty sure he definitely dealt with an identity crisis. And you really see that highlighted when he killed the Egyptian just before he fled. So with that, we can see that Moshe was a very complex person. And he was somebody that most definitely dealt with self-deprecative thoughts. And I'm pretty sure there must have been times where he questioned, why me? What makes me so different? What makes me so special? Moshe had so many things going against him, but ultimately, he didn't allow the ruach of self-doubt to prevail or to destroy him. And also, to be fair, when you have something written on your life, it's just in your life. You can't really avoid it, because Miriam, his sister, had like prophesied before he was even born, before he was even thought, because they were, at the time, they were like, his parents were actually actively trying to not conceive because of all like the killings and stuff. They were trying to not conceive. But yeah, like Miriam, she really spoke the word. Like, she really said, yeah, he's gonna do his big one. You're gonna have a son. He's gonna do his big one. You'll find that in Yashar 68 verse 1. I'll just read it really quickly. And it was at that time the Ruach Elohim was upon Miriam, the daughter of Aram, the sister of Aharon, and she went forth and prophesied about the house, saying, Behold, a son will be born unto us from my father and mother this time, and he shall save Yisrael from the hands of the Mitzrayim. I say all this to say that you actually have to war with the beast of self-doubt, because through all of it, that quest or that instruction that Yah has placed on your life, it was placed in there intentionally. And babe, let's try not to fumble the bag, okay? I mean, like, on a real, like, if Yah has given you something, he'll back it. He'll literally back it. You just got to believe that. You just got to take the first steps, essentially. And he'll also strengthen you. But, like, if you continue to reject the gift, he'll retract it. He'll take it away. And that's not cool. That's not cute. We don't love that for us. So don't allow your self-doubt to disqualify you from Yah's ultimate blessings. I'm really aware. I feel like this one, oh my gosh. Like, wait, can I just say for a second? Like, anyways, I'm really aware that I've been going on for a hot minute, just chatting. So I'm gonna kind of try and conclude, and I'm gonna conclude kind of reflectively. So let's just talk about me for a second. Honestly, like, I really took a long time to do this channel again. Because, you know, I doubted myself a lot, and like, yeah, as discussed before, I said that I had to do like a lot of healing before I went back to the channel and stuff. But once I kind of healed, I just sat there for a long time. I sat in front there, like, fumbling, like, fiddling my thumbs, like, what do I do now? Where do we go from here? Like, what do we do? You know, I really did allow fear to creep in, and I allowed that, like, I allowed those niggling negative thoughts to just really implant in me at the time. And you know, like Moshe, we all hold on to beliefs that we feel disqualify us from like doing Yah's work. For me, I have a few things. Like, there's one particular thing, and I'm not gonna say it, but like, you know those negative thoughts. Because of those thoughts, I really delayed myself quite a lot. And you know, sometimes I think, oh my gosh, like, what if I'd done this sooner? You know, I'd be able to help like more people, and that's what I kind of want to do, is just like help, you know, just chit chat and whatever. And I do think about that, and it does make me sad. So don't be like me, you know. Don't be like me. Don't do that. No. I literally allowed self-doubt to take the wheel, and because of that, I was consistently like stalling up the hill. Like, I wasn't going anywhere. Literally. But like, yeah, just like, don't do that. Like, if Yah has told you to make that move, make the move, make the change, just do it. Because like, you don't know how influential and how valued you really are. Like, don't ever forget that. You are so precious. You are so precious, and you are so valuable, like, to Yah, and this whole like, this whole movement, and this just changed. Do you know what I mean? So if you have those doubts, you know, obviously consult the Most High, and He will strengthen you, especially if you're trying to do His will. But yeah, I know this was a long one. This one, yeah, like, I felt like I was reading. I was fighting for my life with something. If you saw how many times I was going back and forth. I don't know what was going on with me. I literally, hopefully you won't clock it like through like the actual video, but I was struggling. I don't know, wait, I haven't got my glasses on, innit? I haven't got my glasses on, like, I was just struggling, dude. It's like, what is going on? I was stressed. Anyways, oh my gosh. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this page from my diary. And I hope you guys have a beautifully Baruch week. Much love, your Gap Tooth Sis. Bye. Oh my gosh, you watched the video. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys like, share and subscribe. All praises unto the Most High. Bye.